Hey everyone, this is James, and this is March 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is my 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, and this is BTC USDT. This is the 4-hour chart on the Binance Exchange. So if you want to know where the numbers are coming from, that's exactly where they're coming from. All right, first off, this is not investment advice. Second off, I like to always go over like where we've come. That way, if anybody new is watching, we see the nice downtrend that we've had here. We broke the downtrend, and now we're curling back into the downtrend. This is a retracement. However, this recent price action I'm going to get into has me wondering how much further we really have to go and what is exactly going to happen. Okay, but I'll get into that in just a little bit. You can see that here to the left, the volatility that you see here, the spikes, and you look at this, and this is a more muted market. First off, there's probably the majority of the money that was in here has already left the market, and the market is smoothing out possibly into the normalization phase. However, I'm going to get into that just a little bit because as we look at this side, all right, now I do have this green line set here, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just delete this line set because this is way too far into the game now for price to even use this uptrend line set anymore. I'm just going to remove it. All right, if we do get a bounce, I'll put it back, but honestly, I highly doubt that green line is even going to be relevant later tonight into tomorrow, okay? There's something severely wrong, and the reason why I say that is because you can see the magnitude of the drop, okay? Now, from a larger term perspective, in my prior videos, I said this drop was not that significant in the grand, theme of the chart activity and the price action and so forth, but we have had a gigantic drop, and this is the only relief rally that we had. This market is extremely dominated by either a few hands or just a mass panic of sellers, and I highly doubt it's the latter. I also called for the Guppy run. The Guppy run was absolutely horrible. They got decimated, all right? You can see the curl over right here. It didn't even make it. And for price to fatigue this bad, hit this line right here, burst through it, rally, and just curl right over, shows that the market is heavily dominated by sellers right now. Heavily dominated by sellers. And this is not a good indication, especially if tonight we take out this orange line right here. This was a prior big buyer or multiple big buyers that actually started the fire that lit the market up. So what would happen if we break this line set right here? We are definitely going to the 7,700 range. We might stop a little bit before, but we are going to this range. There's no doubt about it. If we hit that area and whoever was in this area, whether it's one person, multiple people making these big buys, we can kind of see how this stands off by itself. This is typically an indication of a big buyer or multiple big buyers pushing the market up, and then the market never returns there because their buy was able to successfully get the rally started. So if we break this point and we hit this area and nobody's there, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be like a bowling ball through tissue paper, through wet tissue paper, and it's just going to burst right through. I don't think we'll necessarily break the downtrend line set, which is this red line set. So even if we do waterfall into tonight, right, it's going to create panic. But I do think that price is going to get fatigued. The sellers will get fatigued in this area. This area will act as a bounce opportunity. However, like I said, this is not investment advice. And when prices fall like this, and this is the relief rally you get, that is not a positive sign. Okay, let's just go back in time. All right, let's go back in time before the 6,000 bottom. You kind of see what happened here, right? We had this nice fall, we had this little tiny rally, and then look what happened. Look how much further it fell. We could potentially, if we follow this exact retracement, okay, and it almost looks the same. It literally almost looks the same in formation. If you can see the downslope, the little wedge, the fall, the weak rally, and then boom, just a cascade down. We could be in that cascade down right now, and that could take us potentially right here into about the 6,800 level, maybe 7,000 range. Okay, it would still put in a higher low, like I've been calling for in almost every single video I think I've said. I've talked about that, like in the bigger picture, it being good as a nice, slope. Holy moly, I'm sorry about that. As a nice slope that would be just a very nice, subtle, long-term uptrend for the market that would be beneficial, like something you would see in the stock market, the fiat market, etc. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, if we hit this price and we have a poor rally again. If we duplicate this, we will break this 6,000 low. I can guarantee that. Okay, I can absolutely guarantee that. If we do not get a instant turnaround, something like this, like a nice little V bottom in this area, and price needs to shoot out and break. All right, if we hit this area, let me just give you some numbers real quick. If we hit the 6,800 area, the 7,000 range. Now, please understand this is not investment advice. This is only for educational purposes. I have to say that because these videos are on social media and other places too. So if we hit this area and we bounce up to maybe the 7,900 range, depending on how fast we move through time and space, and we curl over or we do not even make it to that range, I'll tell you, this thing is going down. And when it goes down and it breaks this low, what do you think is going to happen? What do you honestly think, as an outsider, think is going to happen to this market where everybody was so hyped about this thing going to 25, 50, 100,000, $1 million? I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm just asking, what would you logically think if you were a holder of Bitcoin, okay? You're a long-term holder. You're a long-term believer. What are you going to think that's going to happen when this 6,000 bottom gets taken out? What is it psychologically going to do to the market? It would be devastating to the market. It would cause extreme panic, especially for the people that are in here. And there's a lot of people in here, okay? I was honestly hoping for this giant rally. And it looked like we were setting up for this giant rally because I know there's people in here that are absolutely devastated, okay? They've taken second mortgages out. These people have leveraged credit cards, everything you can think of to buy Bitcoin because the media knew exactly what they were doing and they suckered in people, and that's what created this. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people stuck in it, and I'm not talking about Bitcoin like I want the demise of this cryptocurrency because, I know there's a lot of people out there that are suffering. And that's why I make these videos, so people can kind of understand the overall perspective. So I'm trying to stay as objective as I possibly can. I'm not trying to create fear in my video. That's not my intended purpose. I'm just trying to tell everybody that if we have this same magnitude of slide, which it looks like that's exactly what we're setting up for right here, we are easily going to start to enter the low sevens, possibly high sixes, and if we cannot make a strong recovery from there, we are easily going to take out the 6,000 low, right? There's no question about it, all right? Imagine if you have big money and you like, what big money is going to say, oh, hey, listen, we're right here. Let's just go ahead and dump in, a couple $100 million and just hope it turns around. They could potentially turn the market around, but if everybody's standing back watching, it's going to take some serious big buyers to turn this market around. And if they do not step in, okay, and that's what these lines are right here. These are potential big buyers. The next big buyer after that area, you're talking 6,000 level. That would be the next big potential buyer. Somebody is sitting in this area watching. They might step up a little bit earlier, okay, and push the market up. But if that does not happen, and whoever was in this area has already exited, okay, because imagine if you had a $100 million position or whatever it was here, you doubled your money almost to this one. You think you'd still be in the market, especially, on the pullback? The pullback is probably because whoever these big buyers were in here took some money off the table. And then they probably took some money off there. The Guppies pushed it back up, and this is why we had this false breakout and a rollover, and that's where they probably dumped again, and that's why we're seeing this slide. Now, obviously, there was some news too, and and other things going on globally that is affecting the price of Bitcoin. But what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is that if these big buyers, whoever was in this area, do not step up, this price is going to keep sliding, and it's going to be devastating to the market. Okay. I've been calling for a higher low. I still think there's a possibility of a higher low, but I have to stress the fact that if these people do not step up, people like you and me and the little Guppies, and Guppies are retail traders, anybody under a $500,000 portfolio, those are considered guppies in the stock market world, in the investment world. That's what the whales call the average everyday investor. They call them guppies because they just come in and just wreck them. And it's kind of like the magnitude of a whale eating a guppy. I mean, that's the whole dichotomy right there. But anyways, if we have this slide, it's going to be brutal. And there's just, I don't know, something's giving me red flags here. Okay, I talked about how the chart was very similar to gold. Gold had a horrible downside. Everybody thought it was going to go like to zero. Okay, I'm not trying to get hyped up and create the fear and say Bitcoin's going to zero. Okay, I'm just saying if these people do not step up, we are going to slide downward and it will be devastating to the market. Okay, so now the positive side here, because I know a lot of people are going to want to hear some positive information, is that if we do hit this area, curl back and break the 7,900 level, we will shoot back outward. And that will be a very positive indication that price is changing. So as long as we can do that, it'll be good for the market, okay? But we're going to have to take it day by day. And right now, something is seriously wrong with the price action, okay? Something is seriously wrong. And I know when I started analyzing Bitcoin on January 28th publicly. Right in this area, we fell, and then this is exactly where I started analyzing Bitcoin publicly, right here for people. All right, so if you've been a long-time follower, that's probably where you found me. It's right back in this range, and I talked about this downfall, and I thought we were going to go further. After we had the rally, I thought we were going to curl back down. Unfortunately, I called it wrong, and I had to switch gears, and some people got pissed at me because, I'm not the god of trading who can predict the future with a crystal ball, but what I'm telling you is the same red flags I was seeing here is the same things I'm noticing right here in this level, and I feel like there's something bad about to happen in this market because the market is not allowing a relief rally to at least recover a portion of this, meaning that this market is heavily dominated by sellers, okay, and if these people do not step up, I'm telling you, it's going to be devastating. This is not some call to buy the freaking dip. It's better if you wait for the reaction. It's better to buy at a higher price when you know the trend is now changing in your favor than it is just to wildly guess and potentially buy down here and then all of a sudden see $1,000 bar drop and your portfolio get absolutely wrecked. So that's the whole reason behind these videos. I'm not trying to create fear, okay? You have to take an outside perspective. You need to remove the emotion. You need to remove the $25,000, $50,000, $100, $10 million figures that people are putting on Bitcoin, all right? And the media is heavily responsible for that. Heavily responsible. But get that out of your head and just look at the chart and look at the price action. What is it telling you? Does this look good? Does this downside look good? No. It looks just like this. And if we're going through that same thing, we're going to have another downward slide. And the severity of that slide is going to be determined by who steps in. Because I can tell you, people like you and I are not going to reverse this market when you have people dumping hundreds of millions of dollars. The guppies cannot survive that. Right? It's like an ant trying to catch a boulder. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to get steamrolled. It's going to be devastating. So I'm not trying to create fear. I'm just trying to speak logically and show what happened in prior history to where the chart is literally looking almost identical. The nice shimmy to the slide, the wedge, the collapse, the poor recovery, and then just a downward slide. Okay, if we have that and we bust out of the 7,000 to 6,800 level, it will be devastating to this market. It will absolutely be devastating because we will slide right to that 6,000 and possibly even lower. So if we bounce off that area, that's when you get excited. That's when we create the lower low. But that's why I create these videos twice a day, every single day, so people have an idea of what's going on in the market. All right, so it's a 15-minute video. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to hype up the downside. I'm trying to remain as objective as possible. But I've done this for 9 years, and it just something is really striking me as not right after this price movement, and there's no guppy run. There's typically a little guppy run. They typically get suckers to buy this thing up and then just knock them down horribly. And for that to not even run, it just means that there's a more severe slide coming, because the reason why is because either somebody is just continuously dumping, not even caring what's happening to the market, or there's not enough people on the sidelines stepping in, and everybody's just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what's going to happen. So that's it for tonight. Hopefully, everyone's not pissed because I focused more on the downside, but I'm just telling you, my intuition, I have a feeling that something is seriously wrong with the price action here, and I just have to convey that message, because I feel like I'm responsible in some way, shape, or form, because I have hundreds of people, sometimes even thousands of people watching these videos, and I just I have to lay it all out there so people can make their own educated decisions. This is not investment advice, but I hope everybody has a great day. Everybody has a great night. I will do a video tomorrow morning. If we keep the slide going tomorrow morning, then hopefully there's some bottom, hopefully there's some relief, and we'll find it together. So we'll see what happens. But have a great night, a great day, depending on where you are in the world, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.